Is this for the countdown?
There's no countdown, but
Oh, well, never mind then. It was funnier with the countdown button.
all right. So hi and welcome to Speaking from the Center. I'm Tim. Welcome everyone. We have Nolan and Aaron today.
Hello.
So today it's been a week.
It has been a week, but a week of non-world ending, but world ending for some.
It depends on who you're talking to.
I mean, obviously, let's not get into that. Why would you pose it like that when I was about to say something about Israel and Palestine? It depends on who you're talking to. Jesus, fish.
Well,
Hello, Jenna.
That's a sticky situation.
It is a moldy situation.
It's an oldie situation.
Yeah,
It's been going on for a long time.
And now it's gonna. Is it gonna go back to the shadows again? Now that we have a ceasefire,
Probably.
and then it's going to rear its head again, and then I mean, this time the rhetoric around Israel and Palestine was spicier in a more inane kind of way. Like people on the left just straight up jump into calling it a genocide. I'm like, wait, hold on. I can consider myself a left-leaning person, but what's going on there is not a genocide. Not a cultural genocide, not an actual genocide. We've actually had a couple of actual genocides that we totally ignored in like the past, 20 or so years. But this is like a long-standing apartheid and oppression kind of like thing going on, where it's like they're still people, they're just people they don't want.
There were two things that really surprised me about it. One was how in Europe, the conversation was not about like the conversation was about do they need to change like immigration policy, because there was a wave of anti-Semitism across France, Germany, and Austria, with the Jewish community of all three of those countries being attacked, synagogues and Jewish centers being burnt down. And what the things in Europe that were being talked about were, do we need to revise our immigration policy? Because did we, by allowing all these people from the Middle East to immigrate, up our anti-Semitism like community inadvertently?
That's a really funny thing for them to be dealing with. By funny, I mean like the kind of like Russian funny, like I jumped in a foxhole to be safe, but a bomb landed here. That kind of like haha. It's not just immigration, and people with will like what you don't call them legitimate reasons for anti-Semitism. There are no legitimate reasons for hatred. There are ill feelings. That's a really rough one to say. Either way, all right. We're speaking from the center. I'm splitting the fence. It's a picket fence, so I got a stick in my ass. So I'm gonna say there's a lot of anti-Semitism festering online, and it's been festering since 2010, when I have no idea what happened, but racists and anti-Semites started getting a foothold in multiple communities. And now that they've been establishing themselves in multiple communities online, now that the world has mostly gone online, they've got these massive backings of hooping and hollering, and they know how to get into an algorithm really quick. So you have a whole bunch of people who seem to be, well-to-do, upstanding people who may have been disenfranchised through like the last 10 years of whatever economic downslide, right? And so you get a whole bunch of natives, white people, white presenting people. I know in Europe, they're very, very very specific about their ethnicities, and they'll like genocide somebody for having like, you see that guy right there? It's like, yeah, you're both white. No, he has a crick in his nose. That's only they have. And it's like, all right, I'm going to genocide him. And they're like, whoa, no, ethnic cleanse.
Oh yeah. I mean, in America, we fall along,
America,
racial lines
I'm
from
just black.
white
like, that
and black.
guy is a completely different color than you.
But in Europe, it's always more subtle and nuanced, because there are regional animosities going back centuries. Confuse a Scotsman with an Englishman, and watch how quickly you get a black eye. Or worse, confuse a Croat and a Serb and a Bosnian, and you'll be lucky to make it out of the room alive.
Yeah, exactly. But like, here's the thing, right? On the internet, the downtrodden are being unified by some very pervasive movements, right? And what's a very pervasive movement? You know, the racists have done this, and guess who took a page from that racist the ideology? That book, ISIS. They give people. I'm sorry to get us banned off of every platform, but they take this pervasive idea of unifying, regardless of who or where you are, because what actually matters is Marx, the economy, your freaking class. Your class will get you into anything.
Well,
And then
that's like, yeah, that's definitely been an issue, and especially in Europe, dealing with ISIS and they're recruiting people and whatnot. But they had like instances. I saw a video from a guy I follow in Vienna, where there was this huge crowd. They were allegedly pro-Palestinian, I guess, but you know, they were. Well, Tim's gone.
His dog grabbed his nutsack and he had to leave. I'm sorry. This is not the late night politics. It is a late night. It's prime time politics show.
Yeah.
I apologize to FCC.
He uploaded a video that he took of the rally, and they were, you know, not only shouting like "Go Palestine," but they were also yelling things like "You can shove your Holocaust up your ass." Like there was no like we're pro-Palestine. They were like we're pro-Palestine, but we're also anti-Jewish.
Yeah,
you
dude,
know,
that is a very and people feel vindicated almost with their aggression towards these things, because, you know, like I said before, you have all these communities and groups building up this large portfolio of disenfranchised people with a target to attack. You know, in America, the target is Black people. Globally, the target, it's very difficult. But when you start getting into this, the globalists are coming, that thing, you start tying that into things, and then poof, you got all of these anti-Semitic communities popping up all over the place, from either old festering anti-Semitism or the new festering anti-Semitism. And this is just like when the Israel-Palestine thing kicked up in the modern age, holy crap, was it a completely different discussion than what it used to be. It used to be like a tepid, like, you know, well, the Jews got, you know, had the Holocaust, and they've got the you know, this claim to land, the birthright or whatever, and the Palestinians were there when they got kicked out, you know, XYZ million, like, you know, years ago, and, you know, it's a really complex situation. And nowadays it's just like the Jews and, you know, the Palestinians, and it is a mess of, even the left sounds anti-Semitic.
That was the other thing I was going to say that surprised the hell out of me. Some of the lefties I know were coming out and saying stuff, and I'm like, that's anti-Semitic. No, I just don't support Israel. And it's like, no. You're not talking about
what that means.
Forming Israel. You're not talking about Israel needs to make domestic policy changes. You said Israel was a colonizing state and needs to be destroyed. That's anti-Semitic. There's no gray area there.
Yeah, it was super extreme. Like, you guys are really pushing for, like, you're pushing for clicks, and you don't know where you're clicking. You know, it's
like
it's really bad.
You're pushing, and you're talking about how Israel's bad. They're the bad guys here. The poor oppressed Palestinians, and Israel needs to be disbanded, and it's like, no, you can't.
Yeah,
that's anti-Semitism. You have skedaddled past pro-Palestinian and gone right into and I think it really highlights just how polarized of a world we've become, especially here in the States. Like, it's crazy.
We have no nuance anymore. There is no nuance anymore, because nuance means you're weak. That's a sign of weakness. Like, if so, hypothetically speaking, if we would have gone down a route of enlightenment that we were actually heading down, before this rot took over, today's conversation would be more about how to come to grips with two people occupying one space. And I mean pushing the idea of one state with two people in a parliament. Like, all right, I understand the religious, like, the world could be like, you understand the religious significance of this, but I mean,
yeah, but taking the religion out of it, there are still domestic solutions that fall well short of disbanding Israel.
Make one state and then everybody can live there. Possibly, maybe, I don't know, have rules, regulations. It's really difficult, but you got to do it. You can't recreate Temple Mount because that's going to bring the end of the world.
Well, that's why you can't rebuild the temple. When they rebuild the temple, the world ends.
Exactly. It's game over. But like, we want to do it. I'm going to do it.
I don't know, man. It's crazy. This is all Britain's fault, too.
Yeah, damn it.
So the British took over the mandate in Palestine in 1920, and they were having such an issue with Jewish people coming from outside and settling, and the indigenous, Arab population being very upset about that as a compromise, they decided to use the Jordan River as a dividing line. Everything east of the Jordan River, Jordan. Everything west was this new state called Palestine. Because, just draw lines on a map and hope for the frickin' best. That's the British policy, right?
That worked everywhere.
Looking at Derry, feeling sad.
Hi.
All right, so we got Mikey Famine on the show from the Bin podcast.
Hi, sorry I'm late.
It's fine.
Time is relative. You're not late.
Yeah, I mean, we were just talking, geopolitics.
It's hard for me to remember that Connecticut is not Central Time. That's kind of what my world revolves around. I was like, cool, I got about half an hour. Maybe I'll run upstairs, run soft real quick. And I'm like, have I looked at my phone? I'm just napping on the couch watching Rick and Morty. So I apologize for my tardiness. Hello, everyone.
Central Time. You listen, you guys got to get with the picture, all right? Either you align yourself with the East or you align yourself with Pacific. All right? Central and Mountain Time, fictitious. Get with it.
Sounds like someone's jealous that they just don't get premium television an hour earlier than everybody else.
When I was a kid, yes. All right. When I was a kid, yes.
Harboring a little trauma, maybe, that you're just
Stop it.
Projecting out on the rest of us.
Stop it. Ah.
I actually rather liked living out in Mountain Time. I was like 2 hours behind everybody on the East Coast. They'd call me and they're like, what time is it there? And I'm like 5 o'clock. And they're like, oh man, it's already like 7 here. Yeah, suck it, bitches.
They just get the sleep. It's the sleep in times.
So Mikey's here for a very important and fun reason.
A very special episode.
It's a very special episode of Speaking from the Center.
Today we're going to see where on the doll Mikey hit this guy.
What?
All places.
It was everywhere. So Aaron, this will be a fun surprise for you.
You're gonna like this, Aaron.
So we are going to discuss a recent episode of the Dig on America podcast, which is one of the podcasts that Mikey does with Dutch, everyone's favorite.
It's okay.
Man, you do something with Dutch on purpose?
It's okay, guys. I don't like him either.
Then why do you do it?
We'll see.
So I'm going to preface all of these clips by saying I had to edit them for time. There's
got to be easier to just buy a nail gun and shoot yourself in the foot, man.
There's a lot of crosstalk that I tried to edit out, and yeah, we're just going to do these one at a time. So, Mikey, if you want to give us the background of this episode and who this guy is and why you were talking to him.
I don't know why he was on the show, but the episode was about capitalism. It was the dig on capitalism, right? So we're supposed to be talking about all of those beautiful little nuggets. And I think his only qualifications are that he's a ridiculously dangerous right winger who's the pastor of a small church with a bunch of non-mask wearing mouth breathers. And I'm not exactly sure why this guy was on our episode about capitalism, but he had a lot to say about something that, as a pastor, he contributed nothing to.
So right, I'm getting some serious nuance here. What did you really feel about this guy?
Tell me how you really feel. Tell me.
It was because when we started talking about taxes, I was like, "Do you even pay taxes?"
I
didn't even clip the parts about the tax thing. I went straight from when he said he thought the vaccines were gene therapy.
Yeah, that's when the gloves came off, because I already told Dutch I didn't like the guy, and then he brought him on anyway, and then it's one thing to disagree with people about political issues, but it's a totally another thing to start spouting lies on a platform that I'm associated with.
And let's dig into that. Bam, there it is.
Oh boy, there you go.
Who's the guy in the funny hat?
You forgot to share it with the sound.
Oh, there's no sound?
You forgot to share it with the sound.
That's what that means. You forgot to share it with the sound. There's no sound?
Ooh, Pastor Sam Jones.
Hold on.
Stop the share.
Okay.
There's got to be.
Share it again, and then there's
Man,
an option
he
to share
looks
it with
like Joss Whedon with more hair. That's how you know he's going to be creepy.
Oh no. So there's actually a book that my grandfather had I used to like poke at back in the day. It was talking about the Human Genome Project, like that whole crazy thing from way back when. Man, I gotta find that book and pick at it to see what conspiracy theorists had like spun off from that thing.
Let me go back.
Because that's like, gene therapy.
Oh, I see. DOA, Dig on America.
Ah.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there like, Dota? What? Defense of the Ancients?
Let me see if there's sound this time.
Dead or alive?
Can you guys hear it?
Not even a little
Not
bit.
at all.
How did you record this?
I took it off of YouTube and I clipped it together using Premiere.
Why didn't you have
Premiere.
why can't you pipe
Check
the
the sound bar, maybe.
that one?
Why is that 100?
No, we're not actually getting direct audio at all. You're gonna have to put your microphone up to your speaker.
Do we have to mute ourselves, my haps?
You know what? I will change my speakers and you'll get it through my speaker.
Ooh,
Giggity.
Giggity.
Live production.
Yeah.
Do it live.
If
All
you
right.
want to, I could just pull it up from YouTube and share. But you'd have to kind of.
You have your virtual webcam.
Can you guys
right?
hear it?
No.
Nope.
No.
Mikey, your virtual webcam, right?
No, but I have one. I could do that.
Oh, okay.
This
never mind.
is
I thought you
why
I could just share the
I
screen from the
brought
episode.
crackers.
meant Big Hoss.
That's the homie.
That's a big guy.
All right.
His arms were peaks.
I guess I'll have to do it straight from YouTube, but
He's gonna be my personal trainer.
Okay, you will start looking like the golden valleys and mountains of America.
He's gonna just grind me up into nothing and then slap a t-shirt on me and say, "Look, you look great."
Did you give us a preliminary flex? Oh, you're drinking a soda as I drink coffee.
You have two fucking handles on the mug. I can't deal with
I
life.
got two. Look at that. All right, I have dreams and aspirations. All right.
Oh no! I know what the problem is.
I got-
I saved
let's-
it as the wrong kind of video file. I'm an idiot.
What'd you save it as? An MKV?
No, an AIV or AVI.
Who does AVIs anymore? Those things are such terrible compression.
He just wanted me to look bad. I understand now.
Anyway, so
Give me
Mikey, tell us
5
about this
minutes
podcast that you do.
And I'll resave it.
We're filling for
and we
time.
can do
Mikey,
it.
tell us about this podcast. So give the audience some more context.
It's a
what you're
social
interested.
political dig into history about a specific topic, whether it's capitalism or the separation of church and state or the Second Amendment, like kind of what has gone on historically, and that's usually spurred upon by something that's happened in recent politics or recent news. And that's what me, Dutch, and Haas do every Wednesday night at 10:30 Central Time.
Oof.
Central Time.
Post it in the chat so people know where to go.
Like at night?
Ah,
Damn.
when you say central, people are like, "What? What?"
Oh,
I mean, I don't know. I still am not 100% sure what time the Bin podcast goes on at. So, because
2
every
p.m.
time
Central.
every time we talk to Shartan, he's like, "Oh, we start at this time," and I'm like, "Yeah, but if you're not in Fennoscandia, what the hell time is it?"
I mean, the
the
Bifrost throws everything off a bit, but it would be 2 p.m. Central.
Ugh, look at this central guy here.
Central, the center of it all. Actually, I am
that's what got me
speaking
about
from
central
the
time.
center.
Is like we got four. We have four time zones, and I never understood why Central is Central and Central is not Central. Central's like this
Do you-
this sliver of a corridor.
Do you
like,
think
through,
Eastern?
like, not center?
Do you think Eastern is like in an order of 1, 2, 3, 4 is number 4? Like California, West Coast being 1. Do you think that East?
Why would West Coast be number 1?
Just in a matter of ordering things, because there's West, Mountain, Midwest, or Central, East Coast, and then there's Atlantic time.
Yeah, there's Atlantic time. All right.
So that would be 5. and
But
we would be
Atlantic
in the
time
very
doesn't apply to
center.
the America that I live in. All right. That's like the weird. That's that weird tip of Canada and the islands down there. I got some
That's
friends
Nova-
down there who are in that time zone,
Prin-
and Brazil,
Prince Edward Island and Nova Scotia.
Nova Scotia.
China has one giant time zone, and
Eh.
everything is based off Beijing time.
True.
So
I
if
agree.
you're out in Western China and it's 7 a.m. in Beijing, it's 7 a.m. where your ass is. Even if by any other sane division of time,
Right.
it would be like 3 in the morning.
Yeah. Well, hold on. It's like trains. You did that for trains. I hate trains.
I love
It's
trains.
like, understandable, China.
I think they
Understandable.
did it because they were like, no, we're in charge here.
I mean, yeah, true. That too.
That's the thing about a communist dictatorship, huh? You get to kind of decide that no, there will be no time zones.
Well,
My time is what time it
We
is.
did a big old Chinese freaking conversation a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
And,
we
it's
need to
pretty
do
much like-
another one, and this time focus on like China from the last 5 years, because
Yeah, we need to do China last 5 years.
we had to start way far back to get up to modern day.
Yeah, we
had
did
a
way far
lot
back,
of
and then we
ground
got up
to
to like the early 2000s and like poked into the modern era.
Yeah.
But like the big thing about the Chinese theme is like stamping out any bit of differences that one group of 1 million people can fight about and die over. Because every time somebody got into a fight, 1 million people died, and it's always about a little difference or a big difference. It's like, all right, no more differences, please.
I mean, that was a big part of it. You know, we didn't even talk about like why martial arts is so heavily regulated over there nowadays.
I don't know why, but
No, it's because for a long time there were either A, secret societies that would occasionally rise up, or B, random martial arts masters would like challenge each other and then beat each other to death in the streets.
yeah, true. I remember that part. That's really funny.
And, like,
Golden age.
yeah, and the Communist Authority went, yeah, no more of that, please.
Yeah,
Can't have whole chunks of the South Country occasionally engaging in blood feuds, beating each other to death in public.
I mean, let's also talk about freaking was it the early 2010s, the knife attacks in northwestern China. Like they had a couple of those butcherings, like people going ham just with a blade, and they're like flying through freaking subway tunnels, chopping people up.
Ooh.
That
Yeah.
was it was a nightmare, but I guess
It
that's what
happened
we
a
have.
couple times when I lived over there.
Yeah,
You'd be like,
were
oh
there.
yeah, there was a machete attack in Southwest China at a train station in Kunming, and everybody's like, well, that's awful. What happened? Well, we don't know. We caught the bastard and beat him up, and now he's in jail.
And then you look at the news, like they got to like 40 people. You're like 40 people.
Yeah.
They
Well, you know,
only
and you're
get
like,
groups.
that's. But then it's like, and in America, one dude walked in with an assault rifle, and 300 people were hit. Like, so you know.
Oh, the Las Vegas thing was just like, oh god.
I was out there actually. My mom got married in Vegas, probably a month and a half later.
Mm-hmm. A month and a half later. Oh, well, everybody's still reeling. It's like, listen, the trip is still on.
Yeah, don't even think for a second that this isn't still going down.
I paid for the tickets.
Not getting that deposit back. And this sounds kind of shitty, but damn Vegas, y'all had a whole set of merch set up all over the place with Vegas Strong in like 5 weeks. I was like, there's Vegas being Vegas.
No.
That was fun.
Peak
Did you
capitalism.
disappear, Nolan?
Yeah, I was sitting here, and all of a sudden, I was not in the chat. I was just out.
All right. So we're gonna have to just do this from YouTube. So,
Okay.
this is a round where I wanted to start this conversation. So we'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll prank call.
Super soft.
Super soft.
That's a smart choice. Age-wise, man. Age.
How's that?
Do you have
Nope.
any quick thoughts?
Better.
Anything
You want to just give me the timestamps? I'll pull it up.
being voted out, kind of a thing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tim, why don't you let Mikey do this because he might, have more
Okay.
success.
The timestamp is 2:54, 2 hours and 54 minutes.
Exactly. Not a problem.
42 seconds.
Yeah, in 42 seconds.
A minute is a long time when you're waiting.
How about 2:41? That'll do. Up. Button.
Yeah, apologies. I should have tested this first.
Speaking from the center, the technical difficulty episode.
If I only knew that StreamYard wouldn't allow me to use AVI, but it would take forever to compress that shit because my computer's not that fast.
It's ready.
Light it up.
I mean, I think a lot of it's rooted in Trumpism. Probably all of it's rooted in Trumpism. I don't think she's a true conservative either. I think she's more definitely on the liberal side of the Republican Party.
She's a rhino.
She voted with Trump more than any other congressman.
92% of the time.
Yeah, like 3 people are more conservative than she is. At least as far as that using that measuring stick.
Yeah, I think you can make an argument. Trump's one of the more liberal presidents that we've had too. If you look at just what he did, so
definitely not socially. All right, but so I want to ask you this question, and I don't know if you have this characteristic or not. But I'm going to tell you. So the other day in my men's group, the leader got up in the front of the group and he was talking about a party that he wants to throw, like for like a potluck or something like that. So he wants to have like a taco truck come out or not taco truck, but like a taco van.
I was about to say, a conservative wants a taco truck. What kind of bullshit is that?
But I'm in Bakersfield. Bakersfield is a lot of folks who go to our church are very, very conservative Latino. But so he gets up there and he goes, and I'm sitting in the back and I'm wearing my mask, and one other guy in there is wearing a mask. Nobody else is. And he goes, so I want to ask you guys, what are you guys comfortable with? Should we socially distance this or should we pack the joint? Echoing cheers from this men's group, pack the joint. So I kind of said, hey, look, if you guys give me COVID, I can't go to work. And that's not really a very smart thing for people to say. I tried to explain it and I got weird looks. So I bring that up as actual real life context for this question. What is it that you think is, I don't know if you are with this or not, but like the absolute like anti-mask / vaccine mentality that is happening within the evangelical church right now? A, are you seeing this? And B, can you explain it to us?
I would say that it's probably not mainstream. I would say it's more from my perspective. It seems like it's mainstream the other way, but I would say the explaining it. When it comes to masks or vaccines, 'cause I think it's different. Do you want both?
Well, I mean, they're kind of the same because the people who don't wear masks also are saying they don't want to take the vaccine in many cases. I'm not generalized. I don't like to generalize, but it seems like the same crowd is yelling the same things because in my group, which is 40 guys, there's 2 people wearing masks in the room, one who's me. And there's probably like 6 people who I've heard say they've got the vaccine. So, most people are like, oh, I'm not afraid of it. I'm not going to do that. So it's like, and I get like, God says, don't fear it. Cool. But respect and fear are 2 different things to me.
Yeah. People wear seatbelts.
Yeah. So the vaccine, technically it's from my understanding of it, it's not a vaccine, but it's gene therapy with the vaccine. And so that's one thing.
Time out. This is not your platform to spout bullshit. You better come correct. You will not tell people that the vaccine is gene therapy and not a vaccine. Where is the citation that I can look up what you're saying right now? Or you're done, and I'm booting you off of here.
Yeah. So the citation is I don't necessarily have a medical book or something like that to go into cite, but it's in the understanding of what a vaccine is. I'm talking in the technical sense, not in the sense of an injection. It's not okay. And it depends on which one we're talking about. The one that's the one shot, the Johnson & Johnson, I believe was a vaccine or is a vaccine. The other two have to do with a elongated protein or something like that. I mean, it's not my field, but I'm giving the
Nope. Not gene therapy. Just looked it up. None of them are gene therapy.
So if it's not your field, perhaps you shouldn't spread things that are not true.
Where did you get that from?
Hold on, Dutch. We are on the internet. This is our channel, and we have to be accountable and responsible to our audience. So if you don't know, please say, I don't know this, but ... Do that. Don't say that the vaccine is okay. Oh,
Nice. Nice.
I don't know if it's gene therapy. There you go.
Get clapped real quick.
Damn.
All right. I think I know where he was going with this, but
No,
you said it right.
Don't go down that path, man.
No. I'm not trying to give him any legitimacy. He was trying to get into the science of it, but he just couldn't get into the science of it.
And the pinata's strung up. Let's just hit it with sticks. Like,
So now there's a lot of yelling after that.
fuck. You think yelling with that gentleman, with such a rationally clear-headed individual as Pastor Sam knows what's?
That was a.
He's wearing firmly a pair of crazy pants.
He was talking outside of his pants, and then Mikey pointed out, like, "You're on my show without your pants on, please."
No, because they were on his head.
Yeah, if you're gonna be on my show without your pants on, please let me know so I could put a censor bar over your batshit crazy dick.
Pants on head. That's what we call that guy.
So Mikey, I gotta say that it feels like the argument that you're about to have with that guy stems from a lot of guys like that who have said something and didn't have the background to back it up. Like they didn't have the information to back up what they said, or because
you mean the internet, Tim? Because that's the internet.
I mean, they it sounds like that guy is like one of 100,000 people that you've come across who have said, "Oh, the vaccines are gene therapy" or something else of that nature, and you're like, "Well, prove it to me," and they're like, "I don't have that."
Well, I don't know what everyone's religious standings are, but as like the resident atheist and like every meeting that I go to, I have a very short fuse when it comes to pastors, especially pastors who have admitted that they will never wear a mask. And now they want to fight to hold church and infect all of their congregants and all the people that go there and all the people in the surrounding area. And if those people travel, all these other people with immunocompromised people in my life, these churches ain't helping shit. They should be holding vaccinations at the church, but they're not. They should be paying money to the cities that they live in, but they don't. So this dude and dudes like him, I cannot tolerate them in large doses. And then he just gave me like, I can't even think of a proper, a refrigerator sized pill of his bullshit all at once. I'm not swallowing that. I can't. You're not, and he's definitely not going to come onto a very, I wouldn't say a neutral platform, but we're at least well-mannered enough to have discussions and arguments about things. You're not allowed to lie. Not as far as I'm concerned. So no one's ever allowed on any platform I'm on while I'm there to just spout straight up lies, especially when it comes to something as serious as COVID.
There's a big, so to go along with that, a lot of people don't like to take action, right? To break the norm, to break their schedules, their habits, right? And then when you have something like this, you have these people making excuses to not engage, which people will gladly take, because like Moses has said, like, the worst type of misinformation guru, he had something that sounded true, which is good enough for most people. He sounds smart, reasonable, and rational, which people can defer to his authority as a pastor who heard something from somewhere. The pastor heard something from somewhere too. The Bible, I heard something from somewhere. I got this.
Who's Moses?
Moses Satori.
Okay.
Yeah, classic Moses.
That's my brother. That's his Facebook name.
Okay. You said Moses, and
that's
I'm like,
the name he goes by. I'm gonna call him by the name he goes by. I'm not gonna out his name. Get him with the government.
Which Moses we talking about here? Because I don't know how the old.
When I said the Bible, yeah. Anyway,
I also didn't pick that up either. I'm like, what book is that in?
I'm sorry. I heard it somewhere. I got these 10 commandments. I heard it somewhere. It's good.
Bye, Jenna.
Bye, Jenna.
My producer. And so when you have people who are religious, unfortunately, a lot of things that happen in religious communities is they get into these habits of not doing anything outside of what they've been doing. Like, they feel like their action is going to church. Their action is, maybe reading the Bible or listening to somebody read the Bible and just letting it go to God. And, some people unfortunately see the way this pandemic is playing out is like, if God wills it, God wills it. They don't say it as cool, that they just like, they just don't get vaccinated. They don't wear masks. They don't take precautions. Yeah. And that's not as cool. They just say, I'll just let God take care of it. It's like, you know what God's going to do? He's going to call your ass to heaven when you're dead. Freaking.
Let me pray on it.
Yeah. Let me pray on it while this virus preys on you.
I'm going to go out here on a limb with a bit of what may be unpopular to some. And I may be making a gross generalization here. I don't know. This is just my own observances and things I have seen personally. I'm fully prepared to be wrong on this. Mm-hmm. I'm a Catholic, right? Born and raised. I know, shocking. A guy named
Nolan a wonderful Irishman.
Yeah. I don't know why, but it's something about the Protestant churches and the schisms and all the little churches in America. They just, I look at them and I'm like, y'all are nuts. So a big dust up in the Catholic Church recently.
And you're Catholic.
A big dust up in the Catholic Church was a bunch of bishops were saying, we want to deny giving the sacrament, communion, to public officials who support abortion. And there was another faction of bishops in America saying, no, we're not going to do that. And then the Pope basically sent a letter and was like, hey, you don't get to make those kind of decisions. That's not how this works. I tell you what to do, and I'm going to tell you right now, shut up and sit down. And both sides, he went, be quiet. We're not talking about this right now.
He's got the biggest hat. He makes all the decisions.
But that's so you can tell the tiered hierarchy.
It's structured, So this happened, and then the Pope came in and went, "Wow, that's cool. You guys are having a neat debate. Stop it. Enough. You don't get to make those calls. I'll talk it over with the Cardinals, and I'll get back to you. In the meantime, shut up, sit down, and you'll do no such thing."
Well, it's because every time something like this kicks off, it creates such a huge problem,
right?
And the papacy has been catching up to modern era.
But then you have these Protestant churches in America. They don't have this structure, and they just go fucking all over the place, and they do whatever they want.
They're free. They're free out into the wilds. When you go out west, being out west or in the plains anywhere is a wild experience.
Let me tell you, I used to live in Utah, so continue. But I know.
Would you guys care to venture a guess as to where his congregation resides?
Ooh, Topeka, Kansas.
Kansas. What say you, Aaron?
All right. Let's say he doesn't have an accent, so.
Dum-dum.
Maybe
Dum-dum.
somewhere northwest. I could be completely wrong.
Dum-dum.
Oregon,
Dum-dum.
maybe
Iowa.
Iowa.
We
Uh,
went
couple
too
of states
far
over.
west. We went too far
Yeah.
west.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, let's revisit some more Pastor Sam Jones.
I just want to say this real quick. Jenna left, and one of the things she posted before was, "I can't relive this again."
Yeah.
I'm not saying
She was
we
a
scared
trooper.
her off, but
she was a trooper for being in the chat during this episode.
Yeah.
Oh, I can imagine the pain. I can imagine the internal cringe, like the actual literal cringe before cringe became a thing to say. So one thing before we go on, the Midwest, the Great Plains, literally you could see everything for miles. You can literally see the horizon where the earth curves, and you could see the sky, and then you could see where if something bad were to happen to you out in the Great Plains, there's nowhere you can go. You just run straight and pray that you can outrun whatever's chasing you. If it's coming from the sky, you're dead. So a lot of these people are religious because of just the abject fear of being out here on your own. Yeah, the sky god opens up and throws his fist down. You ain't got nowhere else to go. Places like, in the eastern, like, New England and in the east, we have rolling hills. There's trees in the way. There's always something around the corner. Out in the plains, it's like, I know for miles that way, there's nothing. And miles that way, there's nothing. And that translates to miles these ways, I die.
No, there's no hope. At least in New England, you can kid yourself and go, okay, maybe after the next hill.
Yeah, I could run up in a hill. I could dive into a cave. I could die in the woods. But at least I can't see for miles. And that's why these religious people, they just form these groups to keep themselves together. They form these communities to just keep themselves together. And obviously, the farther away you are from like this central controlling power, you have more of these varietist ideas that they think are like what's going to be the societal glue. And then you get the crazies, because the crazies are the most pervasive. They get shunned at first, but then over time, they chip their way in. They get their way in.
Pastor Sam Jones is why I drink.
Play the crazy.
Play it.
Like, I know we bicker and fight about shit, but this is important for our platform. And Sam, I'm going to put you main screen again. I have a couple questions for you. Why don't you wear a mask?
Why don't I wear a mask?
When you're out in public interacting with other people, why don't you wear a mask?
First of all, the main sorry, I was debating back and forth whether or not to be funny and say, because I don't want to cover my pretty face. But the big reason here is what I would say is that studies done before COVID hit, because I think that we could probably all take a step back and agree a little bit here that maybe some things have been politicized on both sides. And so it'd be good to go and to look at that. That masks don't necessarily work. I think that if you go and you look at the studies that are in the CDC, and masks can be dangerous too, with giving a much more
Hey. I need you to not gish gallop me. I need you to answer directly, because I have several questions. So I need you to answer as succinctly and as accurately as you possibly can. And the question is, why don't you wear a mask?
Yes, and I'm answering that.
No, you're all over the place. I don't want to hear about blah 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 blah. All this wishy washy
say
stuff.
because that's
hold on, Haas. I got this, big guy.
Because science doesn't change.
Science doesn't change.
Science doesn't change. What was true in 2019 when it comes to masks is the same thing that's going to be true in 2021. It doesn't magically come.
Okay, hold on.
I need
resistance ahead of time. And we're going and we're looking at this idea here. I think you're misunderstanding that science doesn't change with that. And so I would say that the studies that would go and say that masks are more dangerous, first of all. Secondly, I would go and say that they don't work. The third thing is that they don't go, and they
tell me that
doesn't spread.
No, Sam.
It doesn't. Yes, it does.
Sam,
yes.
You're not gonna. Sam, this is not a gish gallop. Sam, stop. This
hey,
is a
shut up, man! I'm answering your question.
Okay.
No, you're listing 87 things.
Yes,
everybody.
I have reasons. You have to have reasons. I'm giving you my reasons.
Sam,
come on,
Sam. You can't
mute him,
your
man.
answer as 87 things. I'm asking about thing 1. So before you go to thing 10, can you explain in detail thing 1? That's what I'm asking you. This isn't me interrupting you because I'm a dick. I already know I'm a dick, but you're not explaining your answer all the way. For the audience, for the people listening and the people watching, you're going to need to explain 1 in more detail before you get to 2, 3, 5, and 80. So let's chill out for a second. You don't have to tell me to shut up. You just have to be more clear in your explanations. So you said that you know that it's more harmful. Can you prove to me or show me or tell me or something to prove why it's more harmful to wear a mask as opposed to not wearing a mask?
Hold on just a second, because I mean, obviously, I don't have citations here right off the top of my head because
that's interesting.
I'll let you take a second, and Sam, take a second. Mikey,
well, here I'll actually send you the article I wrote on it. How about that?
Sure, I'm willing to read whatever, but I think what you're referring to here is when COVID first came out, and the Surgeon General and Fauci both said that, you know, masks are not going to keep you from getting COVID. That was a very, very prevalent story that took place back in the early stages of COVID. But and then they're saying, well, right now they're saying masks are necessary, and therefore they changed the story. Masks don't work and masks do work. The difference here is, and I'm telling you this because you're a human being and I care about you. Okay, I'm not saying all this shit. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what he's interested in. I still give a shit about people. Okay,
so you're wasting your breath.
The difference here is that in the early days of COVID, we didn't know what we were dealing with yet, and they said, look, masks are not 100% effective against spreading transmittable diseases. Because they don't want people to do 2 things. 1, to continue living their lives and hanging out with other people and going into work and all that type of stuff when they could get COVID from touching a computer surface or a doorknob, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And thinking that the mask was going to protect them 100% from everything. And 2, because of the fact that we had a shortage in masks for people like our listener Jenna, who is a nurse and needed those for medical supplies. That argument is not the antithesis to the one right now that says, hey, let's try to be responsible and be safe and not get the old people in my men's group sick. And I say that type of shit because I actually give a shit about you, and I do not want to see you or any other person.
Can we pause it?
And then die or get some.
Yeah. I'm waiting on you guys to tell me to stop. I see it now. I had the comments up. My bad.
That's fine. So yeah, boy, he was using old research and saying that science doesn't change.
So
and it immediately gets changed.
The real quick, I don't know if it kind of got talked over. The link that he shared was his blog post.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, echo chamber on echo chamber.
Without citations. Wow.
So the funny thing is, and I hate to say this, but at the start of the pandemic and in the run-up to, every CDC study had said, you know, theory crafted anyway, that masks were not going to be effective against a massive pandemic. And they were wrong. They at the time, before 2020, everything the CDC put out when they had done their studies was like, no, I don't think masks are going to do anything, because they looked at it and they said this probably won't work. And then the pandemic hit and we got like 6 months in and they were like, yeah, no, we were wrong. The masks, use the masks. But
and also the pressure,
gerbil birds like Pastor Sam there are clinging to this research that's, you know, out of date because, you know, science doesn't change.
Science doesn't change.
Sorry, I'm not feeling well. I'm going to have to go bleed myself and get my humors back in order.
Perhaps your humors are all out of whack.
There was lots of pressure, once again, from the people who don't like the change, and any information that they can latch onto, like when Dr. Fauci was proponent of mask, and then he was pretty much, you know, he was under a lot of pressure, and then he did that, you know, masks don't work, are not as effective thing to one counteract the people buying up every mask, panic purchasing every mask, and just that was a big blunder. That was a blunder that stuck. Either way,
it's backed up by the fact that for decades prior, the CDC was kind of like, we don't think masks will really do anything. Like, if it makes people feel better, you can do it, but and that's the problem nowadays. You say something once, and if that's what people want to see, that's all they're gonna see.
oh yeah, my kid does that. You say the one, you mess up and you say the one thing that he wants to hear. Nope, that's it. That's a promise. There it is. You said it. And I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah. Well, but the
Yeah.
CDC said masks weren't going to do anything for decades. Why did they change their minds?
Because
that's a government conspiracy right there. It's not like new research has come to light. No.
My favorite was Haas's reaction when he said that science doesn't change.
Dude just said, nope.
There's a lot going on. This is the pinata episode where we actually look at it's like, listen, everybody, this happened on a political show over there, and we're gonna bring it over here to show you this is what you do not do.
Well, and the dude does nothing but obfuscate. Like he does is he's wishy-washy about everything. He doesn't give direct answers. He would be a great politician because he doesn't give direct answers.
He is a politician. He's a pastor of a church. That's a little bit a politician.
He's creating comfort in doubt. He's creating doubt for one, and then he's trying to create comfort in doubt by saying, you know what, I'm going to err on the side of caution, and this is just my choice on this side. Please respect it. And Mikey's like, this is how you deal with that. You pull them up by their skin. And then you put the knife here and flay them, which is good. I think more people need to understand how to combat misinformation, which is a thing that's sorely lacking in this world where everything is out in the open. I believe, Mikey, that you're here now. I'm going to talk to you in the third person. But Mikey is doing a really good job of demonstrating how you don't let people get away with this nonsense. Because in a lot of political spheres, there's a lot of people who don't do conflict, who don't do combative, things like this. And he demonstrated it in a pretty responsible way, a bit spicy. He cut off the pastor before he actually did hang himself in front of everybody. But you take an example of how to stop people. You got to be respectful. He was respectful, but you got to let people know that they need to be more careful when they peddle bullshit as an authority, as any type of an authority figure. A parent is just as authoritative as anybody else who somebody looks up to. Parents spout misinformation to their kids, to other parents, pastors, obviously people to look to them who may be lost, which is exactly who goes to these people, and they build up their belief systems because building up your belief systems is hard work. What did we say before? People don't like to work. To break down their normal, to get uncomfortable. They always seek for comfort. And pastors are the providers of comfort. And if he's going to create comfort in doubt, misinformation, you got to stop it.
Apollo was right there with you, man.
He said, yeah.
It was like, sing it.
Yes.
That was the perfect time bark, like just perfectly timed.
So I got another clip here, and this clip.
Oh God, more!
Yeah, I got one more after that too.
This went on for 2 hours.
Yeah. How far down this rabbit hole are we gonna go, Tim?
This is
we're gonna go 2 more clips. This first one here is.
I scratched myself.
I'm not gonna give any context for it, but it shows how much this guy just obfuscates and doesn't answer questions and isn't direct about anything.
Vigorously, your little spittle come out on accident. They're not doing it on purpose, but this dude just talking and spit comes out.
It's
never landed on you. That's never happened in your entire life.
I said probably.
No, I'm asking you yes or no, and I don't want a bullshit answer.
It's harmful.
You know or do not know if it's happened.
Yeah, well, it probably has. I can't recall of something right off the top of my head of somebody spitting in my face.
All right. He's up to you guys, because if you're not going to be honest that no one has ever accidentally produced spittle that landed on you,
I'm not saying
I don't know what to do with you. You hang out with church folk. I went to church for 20 years. Old folks is constantly, fucking,
And
they're always
even
spitting.
bigger point.
Come on,
Even bigger
man.
point, and an even bigger point is this:
Intellectually
if
dishonest.
somebody sneezes, and they have a mask on,
He's never sneezed and any spit'll come out. And
if
no one he's
somebody
ever met
sneezes
has
and they
ever
don't have a
sneezed and
mask
spit'll
on.
come out.
isn't there a difference in the dispersal rate if somebody sneezes with a mask on versus sneezing without a mask on?
I would assume so.
Okay.
Wait,
Sam,
to the
Sam,
parsing
wait.
of your words, Sam.
You're
This
in.
is
You're
intellectually
that's an
dishonest.
affirmative of what you're saying.
Okay.
I'm sitting here saying, well, I've never seen any.
If I put a bucket over your head and you sneeze, versus I don't have a bucket over your head and you
I'm a
sneeze.
pretty violent sneezer. I'm pretty sure the bucket.
When, if someone is standing in front of me, would they have a higher sneezed on with the bucket or without?
Without, no doubt. Now here's
Thank you for acknowledging.
So wait, Sam, I got a follow up, Sam. I got a follow up. I got a follow up, Sam.
Oh man.
So, yeah, that is how much that guy didn't want to answer questions. He would not admit that he has accidentally or someone has accidentally spit on him while speaking.
It's never happened.
Look, I've done that shit on purpose sometimes.
I'm gonna land this on their lip. I just ate,
Hey, bud, what's up? What's up? Oh, you're gross. I gotcha.
Okay.
It was that's one magic loogie.
No.
Back and to the right.
Like, I just can't understand why he would not answer a direct question as simple as that.
Well, Tim, here's what happened. His face in that last clip was panic mode. He was in 100% panic mode. He was in crisis. He knew he messed up from the word go, and he was trying to clean up, and he can't say anything definitive because there's Mikey. It's like, oh yes, you want to talk about Christ? I have these railroad spikes here and this mallet. Let's make you into a really Christ-like figure. It was terrible. He was scared. It was awful.
I mean,
that's why he couldn't answer anything. He was done.
That was part of it. That probably, but the other part is him and Mikey are on opposite sides of the argument. He can't give any ground. That's not how conversations work. If you give inch, you've admitted fault. That's weakness. You're wrong. They can condemn you. They'll put it on a soundbite clip and loop it over and over again, rub it in your face. So you can't give an inch. It's the old saying, you give an inch, they'll take a mile.
Especially when it's something as obvious as, I know for a fact this motherfucker's used a handkerchief once in his life. Look at him. He's probably got one in his fucking little pocket, using it as a pocket square right now that he reuses and puts back in his filthy clothing.
I didn't sweat today.
That's what I'm saying. It's just the most and that's why I think I stormed off a little bit later at this point. But if I say, yo, the Republicans think it's noon and the Democrats think it's noon, are the Democrats right? Well, the Republicans are right too. It's like, dude, you can't even say basic, logical, factual things. And if
yeah, that's how it works now. That's how politics and civil discourse in the good old US of A works. It's everybody's dug in and nobody can give an inch.
Yeah, I'll give you.
It is fucking trench warfare, man.
And that guy entrenched himself in such a crazy position.
No, that's the worst part. Crazy to us, not to him.
Yeah. Like I said, he was creating comfort in doubt. He was creating a reality for himself where things are okay, which is a thing that people do. People do it, and people. I'm not saying that this is a religious trait. I'm just saying people in certain groups trying to create these realities where they're comfortable in, and that's why so many terrible things happen in real life. Is because people create comfort where there is none to be had. And when I say that, creating comfort where there is none to be had, which means they're living a lie. That's why people get abused. That's why freaking people get misled. That's why people get freaking duped and conned, because people are creating lies for themselves and others and he is definitely screwing the pooch on that one.
Well, there are a few clips of that we're not going to get a chance to play because
Oh, thank God.
of my inability to properly format videos. But he does go on to say that, like, he gets asked, like, does he not wear a mask in church, and do his churchgoers not wear masks? And he says he doesn't, and they don't. And then Dutch tries to say, well, maybe you wearing a mask, they would, sort
Follow
of
your example.
Yeah, they would follow your example. And Dutch tries to say that, him not doing that is because he thinks that they'll think he's weak for not doing that. And he just comes out and says, no, I don't want to wear a mask, and they don't want to wear a mask. So that's why. And, like, he tries to justify all of it. And I think you, Mikey, and Hase, like, he's a pastor. He is in charge of people. He is supposed to be looking out for their well-being. And by not wearing a mask or enforcing the wearing of mask in church, he's not looking out for their well-being. And then there's a large argument about how the church does not look out for people's well-being if they're not a part of their church. And I think, Mikey, you make the argument that, he should be looking out for people in his town who aren't a part of his church, because he's a Christian and that's a Christianly thing to do, but he doesn't, and the church doesn't, and they're failing in their mission to help people.
Yeah, I said that. Do you want me to play it, or you want me to talk about it for a sec?
Yeah, just talk about it for a second.
Okay, because I think I've said it on almost every show that I've ever been on. Now, can I tax the church? Because to get that tax exempt status, there's certain cracker wrappers. There's certain like social obligations that you have to fulfill I think you should fulfill to keep that tax exempt status. Like, if you're going to not be taxed, then you need to be following your own book's rules about taking care of the sick and the poor and the needy. Bar none. Like, I shouldn't have a homeless problem in this country when it's $780 billion of non-tax revenue going into churches. That's enough to at least put a big dent into our homeless problem and our hungry kids problem. But instead, I'm donating money to this and donating money to that, and the homeless are still abundant and they're still around us. So it's either fulfill your edict or run them jewels. I need some cash.
All right, we're gonna play the last clip. It's a few minutes, but it's worth it.
Oh God!
I mean, I hate saying that. It really, truly bothers me to say that. I'm telling you right now. But I do believe that that's true, because I have seen it at an evangelical church, River Lakes Church in Bakersfield, Illinois, with my own eyes.
I can say with pretty great confidence that's not the case. And I can give an anecdotal, fair enough, heartfelt reason. Thank you. My wife always tells me I say it wrong too. Heartfelt reason as to why. I am very much against the forced masking, and that is my wife. She has, and this isn't the only reason. I hold the position that I held before with the other reasons, but this is one that really fuels the passion. My wife has severe headaches, and with these headaches, I mean severe. She's on anti-seizure medicine for them, and will go into full body convulsions, almost like a seizure-like thing. And one of the things that absolutely completely triggers them is from wearing a mask, because there are times when you have to wear a mask when you go to the doctor. I mean, and you're taking a child to the doctor. I mean, we're going to go we're not going to turn down that and wear that. And I have seen my wife absolutely go through incredible misery from that. And as I've stated, this isn't my primary reason. This isn't my only reason.
She can wear a face shield.
Hold on, Dutch. Let him.
She can wear a shield.
This isn't my primary reason. This isn't my only reason with doing that. But it is something that absolutely fuels it. And I can tell you that it is really heartless when you go to a place where there are supposed to be medical exemptions and you still get kicked out of different places for wearing a mask.
Who fucking who?
Well, that's what I say to you, because it's appointed for all men to die. So guess what? Everybody is going to die.
Fuck everyone else because your wife has.
No,
Your wife
you're not
needs to protect her health and protect her safety and
You're not
stay
hearing
her
my
ass
point.
at home.
You're not hearing my point. First of all,
Selfish of you.
no,
How dare you?
no,
How dare you?
no.
How dare
you?
so selfish?
How dare you act like people didn't die before
This is
2020?
why you
That's
live in a small
absolutely
town,
ridiculous.
Sam. Because that shit
No,
don't fly in
no,
big cities.
you're right.
Where
I
you
would
have
just
to be considerate to your
absolutely,
fellow man.
completely stand
How
against this
dare
stuff
you,
anywhere
Sam?
I was. You're absolutely
dare you?
ridiculous. You are just a virtue
How dare
signaling.
you?
You are just a virtue signaling leftist.
You're a
Yes.
fucking pastor.
No,
who
you're a
complains
virtue
about
signaling
sales
leftist
tax.
who has absolutely
You
no morality.
fucking kidding
That's
me?
what you are. You are a tyrant.
Oh my God! You've
That's
never
what you are.
earned you
No,
have never
you are
earned a dollar
absolutely
in
a
your life,
tyrant.
Sam.
No,
Name me
you are an
$1 you've earned
absolute
from your own
tyrant.
sweat.
You are
Name
an
me a dollar.
absolute
Dutch,
tyrant.
don't you fucking dare.
All men
You are
must
an
die thing, though. No, I
absolute
have to
tyrant.
touch on that. I have to touch on that. I'm sorry.
No,
All
Sam.
men
Nah, we're
Tell
good.
me
We're
the
good.
first
We're
dollar.
good.
It's a,
Tell
Sam,
me
it's
the
a
first
bad,
dollar
bad
you've
argument.
earned on your own merits. You fucking coward. I told you, Dutch. I'm here for the fucking smoke from
Right,
here
but-
on out. I'm sick of these dudes lying to people. And when they get called on it, they have to shift and move the goalpost and move the goalpost and move the He said he doesn't wear a mask because his wife has a condition. But at the same time, he won't pay tax
which I'm
because
sure
he
she
pays
takes
sales.
medication for. You know,
I
I'm
am-
sure she takes medication for it. Of course,
I'm
I get
glad.
there's
I'm
irony
glad
there.
everyone got to see that firsthand. And I will be sharing this episode far and wide. This isn't a Mikey's drunk thing. This dude is a liar, and he is a dangerous liar. This is the shit that Trump puts in people. This is what he awakened in people. And this is what is spreading across little America everywhere. This is why I have to worry about the neighborhood that I want to purchase a home with for my mixed family. Because
Yeah,
of dudes like him. Because they believe if it's in my holy book, that it's okay to just spout out to people. It's okay to just lie. He's lying and he's endangering people's lives, and he's okay with that because he gets paid to say so.
Right,
And that's fucked up.
The first 3 hours.
So yeah, that's how it ended. Let's just say that needed some room to breathe a little bit.
Oh, it needed some room to breathe, like a fire.
One word. Fuck. I don't. Oh.
So,
I mean, sometimes you have to like articulately disagree with people, and sometimes you need to body slam the shit out of them into the curb.
well, to be fair, you had been taking what you said it was like 2 hours. That conversation was. You had took the better part of 2 hours trying to talk this guy into giving an answer, giving a straight answer, and then, talking in like a real human way, and he just refused to. And when you call him out on it, he said he told you to shut up a few times. He said for the other host to mute you. He said, he said that he called you. What do you call you, a leftist? And this is why no one likes
signaling
leftists.
leftist tyrant. Let's make sure we get Mikey's full title in there, okay?
Let me change my name real quick.
But you and Dutch and for the most part Haas basically tried to reason with this guy, and he was unreasonable.
He was the worst kind of unreasonable. He was trying to be pleasantly unreasonable.
Yeah, he was. There you go. He was unreasonable with like a nice like voice, and he had a calming tone. but once you like got under his skin, his true colors showed when he just called you a leftist and he called you a tyrant and he called you virtue signaling. And that was the end for him. He was like, I'm done putting on the facade.
He had that in his mind
The
before he
whole
got on
time.
the show. Before he got on the show, that was his stance. He didn't go there to talk. Mikey was the enemy. Period.
Yes.
Tell
The
him.
minute
Tell him,
the show
Apollo.
started, that is why he would not give a straight answer. Because if you give a position can be attacked.
Correct.
If you wishy-washy, home hard, say nothing, use a whole bunch of words to say absolutely nothing, it's far harder to hit that. It's like trying to nail jelly to the wall.
And that's why I kept yelling at my co-host to shut up and stop giving him rope. Because every time they're like, I think he means da-da-da. I'm like, no, stop. He's waiting for you to do that. And I think I said that in one of the other things. I'm like, he's cold reading you.
Yeah.
He's cold reading you guys. And he's saying things that maybe someone can defend me on this. And I can put a little ambiguity into the matter. So then I can claim later to be misunderstood.
Well, but that's how those groups work.
Yeah.
They sit there and they don't hit you with the full crazy right up front. They say nice things and things that sound reasonable and things that you've heard before that seem familiar to lure you in, to make you think that this is a place where talk is equals. And then you either have to corner them like Mikey did, or you have to go far enough along with it before they start hitting you with the really crazy crap like, are gay people real? Like,
So
Right.
this is the thing, right? This is how you combat anti-Semites, Nazis, racist people, when you don't hear them out because they're going to spout some pleasant bullshit that sounds reasonable. What you need to do, corner them, fight them, because we are not friends. You know?
And it's like he was watering down his poison, to disseminate out to the masses. And all I did was I put it in a beaker and I applied heat, and I was just getting all the steam out of that bitch so that he would have nothing left. And right before he rage quit, virtue signaling leftist tyrant.
Mm-hmm.
Well, joke's on him. Did you tell them, Tim, about what he put on Facebook or what he did on Facebook over the next couple days?
I didn't.
Okay, so here's the kicker. The next morning, I'm going through my Facebook, as I do in bed before I decide to get up and actually start my day like an adult. The cheeky fucker sent me a friend request.
Oh, let's shake hands. No, you accept that and you convert his ass vigorously. You take him, you put him in the baptism water, and you scrub the shit out of him. All of it. Like, hey, my friend, how you doing? Have you seen this meme? That's a meme with my face on it. Well, maybe you should get used to it because I got more coming.
It's not worth the energy.
And
no, it is worth the energy because he has reach.
It gets worse. It gets worse.
No!
I click on his profile. I scroll down like 2 posts, and it is the church at Planned Parenthood event where him and a bunch of his who's are going to be going to a Planned Parenthood to pressure young women to not seek, healthy alternatives to things.
Their care?
Yeah. Because that's
what I absolutely hated?
90% of the reason that young women and men go there is for health screenings for like STDs and
other normal care,
free OBGYN appointments if you don't have a doctor and you don't have insurance.
Mm-hmm. And even if you get an abortion, it's none of your freaking business what they do because that's their right.
Yep.
Supreme Court, history. It's, I'm sorry.
For now.
That's who I am. We know what I absolutely, right? That's what
wait.
From my high school.
Okay.
There was one in the neighborhood in the area near my high school, right? And depending on which city bus you took to get home or whatever, you had to go to certain places, or if you're walking downtown, you might have to pass by the building. The worst thing to do is pass by these absolutely combative people waving around pictures of dead and mutilated babies, saying, "Don't do this." And you're like, why am I, the 14-year-old, being accosted by this, no neck having 50-year-old person screaming at me that I'm going to go to hell? Meanwhile, they're displaying gore, which you couldn't get on the internet that easily back in the day. All right.
Right.
And it's like, what do you?
If you knew where to look.
I mean, if you know where to look, but still, it's like it's not. You have to be in a certain, mindset for that kind of thing. But when you walk by and the guy's like, "Look at what you're doing," and then your brain, like being a politically minded, teenager, you think about all the other terrible things that are happening in the world, and you're like, "This is what I don't need this right now."
His tagline on the post was "Super pumped for this."
He's just an awful person.
Oh.
Like just all around in general, he's an awful person.
Yeah.
And people like him, I hate to say it, are the reason we don't have Dutch on this show. Because that would be our link. If we have Dutch on the show, then we have a link to that sort of crazy shit. And we try to keep that to a minimum here.
Yeah.
I just have a general question about how the fuck who found him and why?
You already know, and I don't know why.
Hutch.
Okay.
Hutch found him.
That's Dutch's
Dutch.
boy.
Sorry, Dutch found him.
He's part of that Gatekeepers. Yes, they're called the Gatekeepers network.
Oh God.
Him and Dornick are best buds.
Oh my God.
Gatekeepers?
Yeah, it's like a.
What are they? Are they keeping the gate of a gated community where just them and other people live? But no, it's totally not racist.
Yeah, they're totally like all white dudes, but it's not a racist thing.
No. Why would it be?
Yeah.
None of them live within 100 miles of a black family, but hey, it's not on purpose.
Oh, just the grace of God, they might say. Oh, fuck.
My favorite part is where he was like, everyone's gonna die anyway, so why the fuck does any of this matter?
You had a favorite part.
Well, not my favorite part, but the most interesting part was and he did this a few times throughout the episode. He went to all men die. So
right.
Wait a minute, but isn't that from Game of Thrones?
No, so I got hit with that saying from some of my more conservative leaning or some of my conservative leaning friends, and there's a thing about Latinos and death. I don't know what it is, but they're pretty much like, I was talking about having COVID run through my family, and they're like, you know what? That some people die. That's just soldier up, son. And I'm like, what the fuck? I just said my family's got COVID, and you're like,
but why is that? Why is that an argument? Why is what people are going to die anyway an argument?
Yeah, it's like
it's not.
Can I have a moment? It's like, man, listen. Sometimes it's just your time, and you're like, this is a pandemic.
And then the guy was like, "Don't pretend that people didn't die before COVID." We all understand that.
That's a straw man.
He said that. He said that.
Yeah, that's a straw man.
Yeah.
Don't pretend that people didn't die before 2020. Well, no shit. I haven't been able to talk to Hermes or fucking Zachariah or Methuselah hasn't been around for a while. Like, we get it. Like,
one of my friends who is in emergency medicine at major hospitals in my state, he was like, he'd send pictures like, oh, look at these just arrived today, and it's a row of morgues. It's a row of portable morgues.
The refrigerated trucks.
Yeah. It's like, all right, this is normal. Everybody's just like, this whole thing is a joke. It's all, yada, yada. Meanwhile, Big Morgue is out here just grabbing up all these bodies. It's a normal thing. Meanwhile, they're just burying thousands of people in unmarked graves in New York. That's a thing. Meanwhile, in Texas, they have a shortage on everything. That's normal.
Nobody cares about
every
Texas.
once in a while. I know. Well,
Texas can't run their own power grid. Fuck them.
I know, right?
Texas is worse at running its own power grid than the Soviets were back in the 80s. Nobody care about Texas anymore. They're done. I'm done with Texas.
You got these other countries that are like basically about to go mutinous because their government mishandled the virus, saying it's just nothing but a bullshit thing from America trying to scare us into wearing masks. Like, all right. Meanwhile, they have freaking vaccine shortages now that everybody's already dying. It's like, what are you doing? We're reasonable people. It's like, I'm not a reasonable person. I'm a military dictator with crazy beliefs.
Well, you heard about how bad it got in India, right?
In India, Brazil, These
And
other
then
countries,
and then one of the places of the country that had the highest reporting got hit with a cyclone. Came in off the Indian Ocean, smacked right into the city.
Jesus.
Wow.
I have not heard anything about what has happened in there since, and I kind of don't want to.
It's a
Yeah.
nightmare.
India's not
Nightmare.
had a good time. They're in some rough shape.
But we can't make Pastor Sam wear a mask.
I mean, it's not happening to them, which is a big problem in a lot of places.
No,
to get
it's
back to the
just
comfort
there's
thing,
no
a lot of people
empathy.
just don't care. It
There's-
doesn't affect them. It's work. It is
Well,
work to care.
And that's one of the things. His job is literally to care about people.
No,
His job
no.
is to have empathy for other human beings through the power of church.
No,
That's his
it is for him
job.
to provide succor to his flock, not anybody else.
He only cares about the stockholders, and those are the people that are directly paying him in that copper tin, that plate.
Yeah, but
that's what he wants.
theoretically, his job is to care about humanity because he has a divine will to do so, or whatever it is. Like, he's supposed to be like was mentioned in the show. He's supposed to be the shepherd of a flock. He's supposed to care about those people.
He said that's the church down the street's problem. He said the church in that area should take care of those things, not me. He has no obligation.
Yeah, except for his 100 people that go to his church in his town.
I doubt it. I think his town had 100 people in it. There's probably only 20 people in the church.
It's a lack of empathy.
Yeah.
And I blame the internet.
Damn you, internet. Where's that old man yells at cloud meme?
I know.
So I'm
something has killed empathy, like entirely. There's no fellow man unless they go to the same church, vote for the same jackass, or have the same skin color. Like
you need a common cause that appeals to multiple people. And
how about empathy? Because we're all humans. How about
empathy
that?
is great, but empathy is not sexy. Helping people? Why help somebody when you don't know how it's going to work, when you can punch them and you see exactly how it works? Hey, I give my hand to lift you up. You're standing in the same place as I am now. Neat. Or you can punch them in their face and watch them cry and writhe in pain. It's like, wow, that's a result. I feel vindicated. It's different. It hits different, literally. Empathy has to be made into something sexy, and it's just not, because it's easier to break than it is to build.
Well, because you can either build yourself up by working hard and doing what's right, or you can build, and doing what's good, or you can build yourself up by breaking others down.
Oh, yeah.
Breaking others down is easier. That's why people do it.
Even if you do the building yourself up thing and lifting yourself up by the bootstraps or whatever it is, Republicans
no, don't use
nowadays.
that term. Don't take this conversation with that term.
It's not what I meant.
What is wrong with you?
But I mean, even if you work to build yourself up and make yourself secure, like a lot of people will say, "Oh, I'm a self-made man, and you can't leech off of
No.
my."
When I said build yourself up, I didn't mean financially. I meant like morally and socially and ethically.
Okay.
Build yourself up by being a good person and helping those around you and showing.
I thought you meant capitalism, and I was going to be like, capitalism destroys empathy.
No. Calm down there, college boy. Okay.
No, you can have capitalism with empathy. Capitalism is only a vehicle. It is not a thing. It is a vehicle to a end. It's a means to an end.
So
you can do it many different ways.
I think a good way of painting this is if you think of like a city like Chicago, and you're a building and your job is to be the tallest building. You could either like have people work on you and make you taller, or you could just level all the other buildings around you. So then you're the tallest by default.
And guess which one's easier?
It's way easier to just like knock out a couple of beams. And I've totally made this other building completely unstable. It could fall at any minute, and I can tout to the other cities that look how great I am. But what ends up happening is you end up with like a St. Louis where like the tallest building is like 30 stories tall versus New York where half the buildings are 80 plus. You know what I mean?
And they have freedom towers.
Wait. Listen to this. You hear that?
Yeah.
It's the sound of a door shutting. You know what's easy? When you get in, you shut that MFing door and nobody else gets in. It's a wonderful way to ensure yourself, because you have to fight against this tide of wanting to not let anything else grow because you're worried about what you're going to get. A lot of people do that. It's like crabs in a barrel. They just hate to see each other rise. They see one crab getting out of the barrel, they grab their legs and they put them back down.
You don't even have
to see other crabs survive.
You don't even have to put a lid on that bucket.
Nope. Crab will keep them right in there. That's an old story for you. It's made popular in Boondocks if you watched it.
Yep.
I heard it from Terry Crews.
No, well, I was going to say it's a story that flows around a lot of Black communities that have had
Crews.
But it goes for any society. These are things that reach across many borders, but nobody wants to think about these things. A lot of people, it's more comfortable not to do these things. And one thing that's a problem is it's more comfortable to slide into bad, because bad is a constant cycle of destruction, and destroying something is easy, especially when it comes to caveats like pleasure.
All right. Well, good job, guys. We solved America's moral crisis.
Oh yeah. It's somebody came on my chat, by the way, a little while ago and said Ron DeSantis for 2024.
Fuck that guy. Ron DeSantis, not your commenter.
No, thank you. We like to open up our borders for conversation on all sides. Either way, we solved so many problems. But
wait,
do we have money? Hey,
he's the governor of Florida, right? That's who Ron DeSantis is. Yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah,
don't fuck him because he probably wants you to.
No, he's from Florida. Don't touch him.
Don't touch him. Don't touch him. He's infected.
You will
catch
Florida.
Yeah, you'll catch Florida.
I'm
surprised Shartan didn't catch Florida when he was there.
He did. That's why he has to live alone in Sweden now.
Oh my God.
Norway went, get out. There's not enough of us to risk what you have spreading.
We need
money. We have an igloo up here that you can live in for free.
Yeah.
It's a vacation spot.
I'm
convinced
have
this cabin that doesn't have any power or electricity or anything, but you can have it and you can be by yourself.
I'm convinced he's only being allowed to do that in Sweden probationarily, because what he has spreads, they're sending him to Finland. Like if he pops up and he's like, "Hey guys, I'm in Finland now," we're like, "Oh, you're on your last strike, Shartan."
After that, you got to go back to Florida.
Nobody wants that.
The truest hell.
So you got two choices: go back to Florida, or we ship you over to Russia.
Okay, let's shelve DeSantis for next week, I guess.
What did DeSantis do?
No. We are an hour and 27 minutes in.
Okay, all right. Then I'll do the closing bit where we talk about the things that we do that's not this podcast.
We're not going to talk about any. Do we have any rapid fire topics that we can hit to give us some more spice in the stone soup of COVID controversy?
Yeah, I got one. Fuck Ron DeSantis.
I guess I'm on board with that for the lack of being wishy-washy with my answer.
Does anyone else want to?
Congratulations to Demi Lovato for coming out as non-binary. Good job.
Demi is on a journey.
That was probably tough for you, so good job.
Yeah. Thank you for watching our show, by the way.
Yes, I was.
For all those of you who are stuck with us through all the insanity, thank you.
Oh, and when I say that, I mean, those who are on.
Also, fuck the UK. I don't know if Wayne ever listens, but fuck the UK.
These aren't topics; those are statements.
Yeah, but it's a statement we can all get behind. And let's make it clear here: when we say the UK, we specifically mean the English and the Welsh.
Yeah, not the Scottish or the Irish.
The Welsh get punched for no reason.
The Welsh get punched because there are more sheep in that country than people.
That was my Welsh accent right there. I hope you couldn't understand it.
I don't know why Welsh had to catch a stray on that. Like, if they're already Welsh. Like, do we have to? Did they deserve that?
From my chat, Melon Dolly says F Texas.
Yeah, fuck Texas too. Whatever.
Yeah. Articulating it as perfect.
Again, illiterate Ukrainians can run power plants better than Texans.
Hey, you know what? If Texas can't be responsible enough to own its own power grid, maybe we should just take that shit back.
No,
I
Yeah.
agree.
You're gonna go over there and try and get it?
Yeah.
take
What?
it from
Yeah.
my cold dead hands.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
What? It all got destroyed.
no. It just turned off when it got cold.
Yeah,
It got like 35 degrees, and then it just stopped working.
That's like
It's
the
like, what?
worst power system ever.
Man, it gets cold every year in Connecticut. We still have fucking power.
no, talk about comfort. It's outside of their purview. So they're like, we're not going to do the extra.
They had to
Regulations can suck
in
it.
cold weather, Texas cold weather, they couldn't keep a nuclear power plant running
Yeah, they couldn't keep it running to generate power. They had to shut it down
because it was too cold. The Soviet Union in the 80s could run nuclear power plants, and Texas can't in 2021. No,
Yeah.
F Texas. You're done.
And the Soviets had a fucking
Melody,
Chernobyl.
what did you do to us?
They had Chernobyl. Imagine what Texas could fucking have if we let them to continue to run their own shit.
Yeah, no, Texas, you're done. Give
You know
it
what
back.
Texas doesn't have? Fucking zoning laws. They can put anything next to anything.
Wow.
Yeah, which is why there's a pet store right next to the nuclear power plant.
You can get all kinds of headed frogs over there.
Pets that glow in the dark.
Starts off as a puppy, 2.5 feet taller by morning,
All right, listen. All right, I will say one
but
thing. I
just
do
the
enjoy.
legs.
As a real estate agent, as a former real estate agent, there were certain parts of my state that were very much more like, small town conservative style. Their zoning laws were wild. I'm talking people had the craziest things in their yard. They've got giant 30-foot tall stone wall castle walls in their backyard. Like, I'm not saying when people are more comfortable with their homogenous neighbors, they figure, everybody can do things. It's pretty cool when you see some actual innovation in people's houses and whatnot. All right.
Well, I'm not talking about a city with wacky zoning laws. I'm talking about Texas on purpose does not have zoning laws. So when a chemical plant in the middle of a neighborhood explodes, they can be like,
That's
we don't know what
business, baby.
happened. Yeah, we're just
You
footing.
You win some, you
Hey,
lose some.
freedom.
Thanks.
Well, everybody's gonna die anyway, so oh well.
You smell that? Smells like, oh, my lungs are disintegrating, but it also smells like freedom.
Does anyone else have a mini rant they want to do before we
Hey,
end?
hey, Tim, how do you make chlorine gas?
Oh my god.
Um,
Well, see, here's what you do.
Bleach and ammonia, that makes mustard gas, right?
Oh my god.
I about to say I saw that on House. The dude was cleaning. He was an OCD guy, and he had a cleaning addiction, and he got himself sick by accidentally gassing himself by using
Yeah,
ammonia and
Tim's
bleach.
dipshit roommate gassed us once by pouring a bunch of bleach on ammonia. Came out and said, that makes mustard gas, right? And I was like, no, it makes chlorine gas. Why?
and
and then
then
we all had to
everybody had
leave.
to leave.
Then we all had to leave.
Well, no, and here's the
Um,
worst part. He went, don't worry, it's in the tub. I'll turn the shower on. I'll send it all down the drain. We'll be fine. He went in there, turned it on. The shower came on. He came back out. I went, you made sure that was on cold, right? Eyes the size of dinner plates, runs right back into the shower.
All right, so 2 points to make to come in here. All right, the Demi Lovato thing is important. Also, I have to soften the blow on the Welsh because they have their first, I think it's world's first non-binary
World
politician.
premiere.
Their mayor is non-binary, and young.
Oh wow!
Which is really cool. So I'll give that to somebody in whichever town in Wales. Hey, good on you. Also, rest in peace, the creator of Berserk,
Yeah,
Kimura.
that sounds Japanese.
No, I messed up his name.
The egg-
Kentaro Miura. Geez, that's the name of his Berserk. Come on.
The author.
Yes, the author. He passed away. Kentaro Miura. I was right. He passed away a couple weeks ago, and they announced it last night that he passed. He's been writing one of the most influential mangas since 1989, and much to people's frustration, did not finish it. And that that's been like, it's been heating up for the past few years. It was, when are you gonna finish this? Finish it before you die. He's only 54 years old, and he died. Aortic dissection. Be
Oh
careful.
wow.
Happens in a lot of men ages 50 and up. It's a common thing that happens. When you get that feeling, please go get yourself checked out, because what happens is a lot of people are like, oh, ow, and they go to sleep and they die in their sleep. So yeah, I would recommend this is a part of growing up for a lot of people. Read Berserk, or at least watch the show, because a lot of things. Yeah, the show's great. The 90s show. Because I think it explores a lot of people's feelings and placements, especially in a world that's not built for them. And a lot of people do feel like they're on the outside. So it will be a good thing for anybody to read, because that's what we need.
Berserk?
Berserk. It's
Is that the
it's
one with Gus or Guts or whatever?
Yeah.
Guts.
Yep.
Oh, I remember
Guts,
that.
the manly man who was in tune with his feelings, and everybody kind of laughed at him for it. Yeah. That guy.
Yeah. I was trying to place it. I was like, I know I've heard that before.
So
But yeah,
so
I remember
Tim and I both know someone who's actually survived an aortic dissection, and that's a good friend of mine, Irish Sweet. He was just sitting at McDonald's with his kids, and he thought everybody thought it was having a heart attack, and by just some stroke of luck, he mentioned that he got tested for Marfan's a while back when he was a teenager, and that set off the house light bulb in the nurse's head, and they got him into the sonogram right away, and they were just watching his aorta tear around, because I think there's like 2 or 3 layers to it. So he was in surgery within like 12 hours, and it was just breaching the second layer when they opened him up.
Yep,
and they were able to
totally
save his life.
savable. Be responsible, people. Please be responsible. Yes, they say, oh, there's overpopulation. Oh, people die, but don't be the one to just die. All right.
Don't prove them right.
But he sat there for 10 hours of it with them trying to figure out what kind of heart attack he was having, because he had the horrible it wasn't a heart attack. So if you ever get into that and they can't figure out what's a heart attack, bring up aortic dissection. Just bring that up, and it might be what's
surprisingly
happening with
common.
you. That's what
Shockingly common.
John Ritter. That's how John Ritter died.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I donate to the John Ritter Foundation every year in Swede's honor.
Oh.
Did Swede die?
No, he's still here. He's
Oh,
Tim's
good.
co-host.
Yeah, it's good to help out even when people don't die. For the love of Christ, please do the right thing. It may be uncomfortable. Reach out to your living friends while they are alive and say hi. It's as simple as that. Don't be like, well, damn, they're dead now. Well, let me just donate to a cause in their names. Like, no, maybe your friend could have appreciated it.
Nolan's right. I'll go shoot him right now. There's only one way to do this.
We're going to give your life meaning.
I have to do this in your memory.
And I can't do that when you're alive. Mikey, you got that crazy look in your eye? Mikey?
I have to fix it.
Must be consistent. Just look, sweet. Just look at the pretty ducks, okay?
Yeah.
Just look at the pretty ducks.
You're gonna go to a place with lots of bunnies.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's put an end to all this.
Virtue signaling leftist tyrant.
Damn. There's your Bin podcast.
Yeah. Please, if you guys have the time and inclination, please visit youtube.com/The Bin Podcast. It's me, Brenna, who's on the West Coast. I'm in Chicago. Wayne is in England, Marriott, England. And Jartan is in a cabin in Sweden somewhere, hiding from what I would assume were polar bears. But we just wrap up the week's politics while giving each other a good laugh and getting heavily intoxicated all the way through. And if you really want to support the show, go to patreon.com/The Bin Podcast.
Also, what time of day was it again?
It is 2 p.m. Central.
He's getting drunk at 2 p.m. Central Time, folks.
That is why I do not work Thursdays from my 9 to 5, and I haven't for 2.5 years. That is my set day off.
No shame in the game.
I put the links in the chats.
Thank you. But it's nice to have a weekend day on Thursday.
You know,
True.
we should start drinking on this show.
It helps.
I don't know if that's a good idea, Tim.
What's the worst that could happen?
With the way I drink, you'd be surprised.
I know. No one gets sloppy. I talk too much. It's gonna be a wonderful.
And then Tim gets handsy. You just see him down in his window, just like.
Oh, that's gonna be the thumbnail now.
No.
Some for the ladies. Speaking from the center.
All right, let's
And the
put Aaron
fellas.
up there.
Hi.
Bam.
Hello,
Aaron.
everybody. So hi everyone. My name is Lord Links. I am on Twitter as Lord Links, twitch.tv/Lord Links. I am on paypal.me/Lord Links. My birthday was recently.
Hey.
You know, in order to elevate our voices and to be heard, it's unfortunate that a lot of people live in these comfort zones where they look to others who they, you know, can easily assess who they are, what they are. You look at Ben Affleck, you're like, oh, I know what kind of person that is. You look at Bill Gates, like, oh, I know what kind of person that is. But then you look at somebody like me and they're like, I don't want to get into politics, you know? But what can help change that, me being a political American, is you can give me money. And then all of a sudden, this stops mattering so much. When my voice becomes louder and more elevated, and I become wealthy, we can elevate the voices of many others who look like me.
For
Political
3
Americans
easy
everywhere.
payments of $29.99.
3
selling-
easy payments.
How much
of
for the prayer
$29.
cloth? I need some anointing oil. How much you selling that for?
I will give you all of my snake oil in the form of wealthy left-leaning political speaker who happens to be black. I see all those Black Lives Matters. I see all those hashtag allies. I see all of those fists raised in your profile pictures and your Twitters and whatnot. But do you have any black friends? Do you give money to any black people? Do you?
Support black-owned businesses, including the
Support-
podcasts.
Support black-owned businesses, support black creators. Don't even make it weird. Don't be like, I have a black friend. Don't be like, oh, I'm cool with black people. No, because we're people too. All right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for doing that to you at the end one. But yeah, twitch.tv/Lord Links.
Hey, Aaron,
Give
quick
me a
question.
follow. What's that?
Quick question. Are the Irish people?
Of course, the Irish are people. The redheads, on the other hand, get too much.
Okay,
get too
it's
much flack.
Gingers are not people. All right.
They get too much flack. All right.
Hey, Tim, just
What?
remember, I went on a walk today that took me past your house when you weren't there. I have threatened to burn down Danny's house for a whole hell of a lot less.
That's true. I would.
But yeah, I do a whole bunch of things. I stream every single day. 2,225 days today. So yeah, go ahead.
Do you have
I'm
some
there.
sort of goal in mind for streaming every day, or is it just a thing you're doing?
He wants
Well,
to
the
go over
goal-
9,000.
Over 9,000! No, so the thing is, consistency. Well, back when I first started streaming, they said consistency was the way to grow and get big. And you know, the idea is, I do like having a community. I do want people to grow and express themselves and have a place to talk and get together. You know, build memories. That whole nine, right? And you know, there's also the chance that you can make a career out of it. So I was hoping, you know, maybe make a career out of it. But you know, as it were, I don't know what it is about me that that doesn't help it grow to fruition. I do have a wonderful community. They're great people. Great people. I love them all. But I'm just saying.
Except for that one guy who loves Ron DeSantis.
Oh, we kid the Republicans. All right, we like to do a little trolling. You know, a little bit of trolling. That's the quote, President Trump. But yeah, that's me. I'm out here. I'm out there. I'm in here. I'm in there. All right. So go ahead. Give me a follow anywhere you need to. I have a Discord.
Here?
And yeah, we could be the next biggest thing as the same thing for the past 8 years. We could have been the next biggest thing. And I'm still shooting for it.
Just like Brock Lesnar, we're the next big thing.
Yeah, Brock Lesnar.
Your
ahead,
disc.
Nolan.
How do you get to your Discord link?
Exclamation point Discord. We don't do too much in there besides me talking like a crazy person because nobody else engages.
Hi.
Cool.
My
ASL.
name is Nolan. I'm here every Thursday with Tim for some fucking consistency in this show.
Yeah, we had another host, but he just walked away one day.
He got the COVID vaccine and he never came back.
Never came back. He literally, if you go back and watch the show, he walked out and he has not been seen since.
It's so true.
He got
So
abducted?
no, he just got bored and wandered off like
Yeah,
he does.
he just left.
Every once in a while, he gives us theater notes. Be
Yeah,
funny.
be funny. Well, we will be. You won't be here, so it'll be easier.
And then we did a depressing ass podcast about China.
Millions died.
Ugh.
When I'm not here, which is every other day of the week, I do a podcast called In the Nerd. We are available on Facebook at the link below. You can find us on Apple Podcasts. Just look for In the Nerd. We post semi-regularly. I think it's supposed to be every 2 weeks, but we might be a little behind because we had technical difficulties with the last episode, and the guy who knows all the passcodes to all our pages went on vacation. So
Well,
That's how you got to do it.
we're working on it though. So check us out.
Guys, I'm going on vacation.
Kind of, yeah. Yeah, check us out there. Check me out here. Those are the only two places you're going to find me because I aggressively try to avoid things on the internet because it is a place that is diametrically opposed to empathy and quality control.
Word.
true.
So
Well, Nolan, I just want you to know that doing this show makes you officially like a Twitch streamer. So
yeah, I don't have a Twitch beyond what you put me on.
but you're on Twitch.
Oh yeah, I'm on Twitch. I'm on Discord because of you guys, but I'm not there.
Yeah.
My likeness is there, but you're like, oh, did you see the tweet? I don't have Twitter, so no. And my life is so much better for it. I leave my phone places sometimes. I went out one time. I didn't have my phone, and the only way I was able to keep track of what time it is was by going into a store, buying something, and reading the receipt. It
Real
was a
survivalist.
glorious day. It was a wonderful day.
Oh, it's 7:00. Shit.
Yeah, kind of.
All right,
place-
there's me. Get rid of that. Okay, all of our stuff is streaming on going across the crawl on the bottom. Speaking from the center, it's
Post the
got a
links.
YouTube. I'll post the links in a second. It's got a YouTube and Facebook.com, and it's got a Twitch, and yeah, right there we go. Patreon, that's the important one. It's coming across. There we go. Patreon.com.
Give this
/SFPC.
non-political American money because it makes you comfortable. He looks like you. He's a cool bro you want to chill with. Give him money.
I'm not cool, man.
If you give him enough money, you'll never have to listen to this virtual signaling leftist tyrant again.
Exactly.
He will outgrow us.
If you donate on the Patreon or you contribute every month, YouTube can become a producer like Shartan and Jenna. They
have
get
a
the
third one,
producer credits. No, only Shartan and Jenna right now.
Oh, I
mean,
the third one.
I think
The third one could be
Mikey's
you.
intending on absorbing us at some point. But and I will have a show in the Bin Podcast Network with Irish Swede, who isn't dead, and Mikey's not going to kill him.
It's the only way. They just told me that's the only way I can donate to this foundation. I didn't want it to go this way.
We're figuring out a first day to do it. It's probably going to be
It
next
should have
week.
been Pastor Sam. It should have been Pastor Sam.
I only feel a little bad, but I don't know who the other guy is, so I'm only kind of like, It kind of seems like this is what Mikey does, so I'm just like,
Mikey makes
Scorpion's
pauses.
gonna be a scorpion. Got to let it roll.
And that's it for Speaking from the Center. Join us next week at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Not those other time zones.
7:30 Central.
Yeah, whatever. Central
That
time
sounds
zone,
weird.
I guess. That doesn't sound right. I'll still be at the farmer's market at 7:30.
God, that might be the whitest thing ever said on this show.
The food trucks at the farmer's market.
Yeah, we didn't get that context. All we got is I'll still be at the farmer's market. Well, shit.
Squeezing beats.
Here we go. I'll make it even
Squeezing
whiter. I'll make it even whiter. It's the Trumbull, Connecticut farmers market.
Where he's
Yeah.
selling grilled cheese sandwiches.
Out
Like
of his small business. His
yeah.
small business.
But yeah.
Ain't
Yeah,
that
join us-
America?
Home of
I'm
the
uncomfortable with how white that was, Tim.
free. Yeah, it was really white. You know what? I
I
realized
feel
that
like I can't participate. That's how uncomfortable I feel.
So,
I was gonna say I think you guys might want to go tanning because that was so white.
Aaron, we're gonna have to use the service entrance if we go to that.
yeah.
There ain't no
who
way
you
they let
guys
us
here
in the
with?
front.
What do you mean? Who are we here with?
We're outside just waiting to meet up with everybody. Everyone just keeps handing us jackets and keys.
Yeah. Anything
worry,
else would be
Tim.
too political.
Tim will tell you where it is later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'm ending this.
Yeah,
End
please.
this, please, before we get canceled. Jesus.